Yes, people, hope everyone is doing good. So, at time of recording, Sean Longstaff is about to do his medical for Leeds United. So, depending on when you watch this, good, we've got a new player, and that is Sean Longstaff from Newcastle for 12 to 15 million, I believe the fee is that Fabrizio said. Now, what about him? Well, there's a lot to kind of get into with Sean Longstaff. I personally think it's an excellent signing. I spoke earlier in the window about the need for good Premier League experience. Not necessarily experience of anything, but players that have consistently played minutes at a high level for years in the Premier League. And Longstaff matches that description. But not only that, he's still 27. You know, he's been at Newcastle for years, obviously, Newcastle lad. But he's played in the Premier League, I believe, for 7 consecutive seasons, which is very impressive. And there's a lot of people dismissing that. There's a lot of people, the usual lot, that, you know, and I'm going to say this, so I don't care. It's hard work. There's a lot of work that goes into it. The usual lot that think they're football coaches, but have never stepped foot on the grass of a football pitch trying to coach people. Are the ones saying, "No, everyone just wants experience. You won't stay up with experience." Blah blah blah. To them lot, go genuinely. I'm not. Go coach, and you will know how vital and how important it is to have a player who's been and done it. Maybe a few players. It's very important. It's very important in every age, particular at a high level, or particular with older people, you know, as they get older. It sets a standard, and again, I can't emphasize how important it is to have a player. If you're going up a new level, how important it is to get players that are played at that level. It's vital. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. You need people that understand where you're going and what you're doing. You know, it's so important. The second Ampadu, Tanaka, or anyone, don't have to be midfielders. The second but it's about direct to them. The second they go into training, they know what level. Sean Longstaff understands how high and how good you need to be at training. He knows what level you need to set. So those guys initially have to step up to that level. It's up in the standard. But then it comes to match day. He knows what's going on. He understands what he's playing. He understands what's going on in front of him. He knows what he needs to do on the pitch. In difficult moments where teams are all over you, you're getting battered. They're so quick, they're so strong, they're so technical, you can't get near them. Players that have not played at that level won't really understand, how do we get out of this? Sean Longstaff will know how to get out of that. He's done it. He's been in teams, he's been at Newcastle when they were near the bottom. He's been at Newcastle when they were in the Champions League. He understands the level. Can't stress this enough. And people will disagree with that, and that's fine. Look, if you've been part of a team, then I'm convinced you would agree. Experience of a level is so important. So that's that bit. Now the actual player is one that, as a profile, he's very industrious. That's one thing I like about him, and this is a link I've seen with a lot of the players we already have and a lot of the players that we're linked with. So Stack, for example, they cover a lot of ground. They do a lot of work. And again, we're talking about a league we're going into where technically trying to cover that technical gap between us and everyone else is going to be very difficult, because they've had years and years of transfer windows to bring in highly technical players, established Premier League clubs. We're not that yet. We're trying to be that. So you kind of have to fill the other gaps that are probably easier, which is the experience gap and is that physical gap and that mindset, players that played at this level. And that's what's going on with this signing. Sean Longstaff, although he's very sound and solid on the ball, what I really like about Sean Longstaff is his ability to read the game, his ability to just understand the situation around him and be in the right place if he needs to make a tackle, if he needs to attack, if he needs to get into the box. He's a smart player, and I've said this to a boring degree now, and I apologise. But our recruitment strategy tends to be around players that, when I watch them anyway, people might disagree, they're good decision makers. Now, of course, you do want an element of risk within your within your players. You don't want machines. You want players who are going to be flair, be expressive, make bad decisions, take risks. But for me, they will come from the wingers, from the wide players, and maybe like a Bogle in there as well. But in midfield, we need solid decision makers who are very effective at what they do. Is Sean Longstaff going to drive through an entire midfield, take men on, play that ridiculously through ball consistently? No. Can he do that? I mean, every player can do something, right? I'm not saying, it's not his game. He will be a massive presence in that team. Not only because the player he is, but because he's done it. And we're not talking about a 33-year-old that's done it, that you could argue maybe his legs are going, right? We're talking about a 27-year-old. There's so much more to come from him. This is an outstanding signing, for what it's worth. And there's a lot of conversation. And look, I know a lot of people here have probably seen Sean Longstaff, so I don't need to go into full technical detail. He's a very solid, he works his backside off. He's a very safe player. He won't hide, another important thing. He will not hide on the pitch. He'll keep that ball ticking, he'll keep it moving, he'll make good decisions. And this is it with football. It's so glorified these days in terms of, we need to see skill, flair, power. You do, but it's a team game, and too many people judge it as an individual game. It's completely a team game. You need a mix of everything. You need a mix of Premier League experience. You need a mix of top European talent. There's not one or the other. It's a combination of both. In every league, in every level, you need a combination of different people, different players, different personalities. It's important. Certain personalities are good for certain situations, So, for me, I think it's a no-brainer. Look, yeah, I'll get his things up next to me. He didn't get a lot of game time last year, and when you look at Newcastle's midfield of Tonali, Joelinton, and Gimenez, I mean, come on. But before last season, played consistently for years, and I'll get that up on the screen probably around here somewhere. Consistently for years. But in the Champions League, squad in the Champions League, was a big player for them in the Champions League. He will adapt. He will fit to systems. He's not a player that you look at and, in my opinion, go, he won't fit the system. Because he suits the league you're in. That's a key component. We also need league players, not just system players. You need both. You could get system players, but do they suit the league? Sean Longstaff suits the league. Proven that for years. This guy's played a lot of football at a good level. I can't remember the last time he was in League One, but he's not played lower than that. He's played in League One, then he went straight to Premier League and played. 171 appearances he's made in the Premier League. 171. 27 years old. He's here now. We've got him. We've got a guy who knows the level. We've got a guy who knows what it takes to stay in this league. We've got a guy who knows what it takes to reach that next level. He's done all that. I'm not saying this guy's going to blow everyone away with what he does. But what he does will be good for us. Too many people, we need flash. Don't blow me away, this. Doesn't have to blow you away. That's like I said, everyone's different. My favourite players are wingers. I need them. I want them in the team. I want us to sign some attacking players that are just rogue and fun to watch. I also want us to sign solid Premier League players. He might not be your favourite style of player. That doesn't make him a bad player. So I'm extremely happy with this. Not extremely happy in an excited sense. Extremely happy in good. We needed this. The squad missed this. We do have players who played in the Premier League, but for the most part, their experience within the league was trying to avoid relegation, and the fact is we failed at that. So we need people who have been in that and done it and then pushed on. and he suits that. So it works massively for me. And then now is a conversation about our midfield, what we're going to do. We'll link with Anton Stack at the time of recording this as well. What's going on there? And if that one happens and we bring in another midfielder, I'm going to do a midfield video. I'm going to have a big conversation about the midfield because we have a lot of them. If we bring in one more, it's questions: who starts? Do we change formation? What's the roles of certain players? You know. So and people are going to say, look, I've seen online, oh, we don't need Tanaka's a much better player than Longstaff. He's going to be a squad player. Whatever he does, whatever he is, he has what they don't have. So who cares? I don't care what he's going to be. We'll see what he's going to be. If he comes into training on the first day and sets that standard, he will start. No doubt about it. But we don't know because the unknown is Tanaka. Tanaka's only ever played at Bundesliga 2, obviously played in Japan. After that, Bundesliga 2 level, Championship level. We don't know the step he can make. We don't know if he can make that step, sorry. We all think he can because he's an excellent player and he's really good. The fact of the matter is we don't know. And it's the standard at training. Can he reach that level at training? This is why you bring in these players that you know can do that. There's zero... I don't know how people can complain about this, in my opinion. They probably have theirs. I want to know it. You see people complaining about it, but they don't really explain why. Not me. But yeah, very happy with this, Sean Longstaff. Key component in the squad. Want more now. I'm waiting for more. I want to keep this momentum going. I feel like things get a little flat. I want to keep this going now. Let's not wait too. Let's get more in. You know, let's try. Let's keep the fans happy. But yeah, buzzing with this. Yeah, solid. I like it. It's mint. See you guys in a bit. Bye bye.